Somewhere right now, a stranger is sitting in front of a computer with nothing but your name, your birthday, and your phone number. That's it. No password, no hacking software, no virus on your phone. And within the next 10 minutes, they could lock you out of your bank account, your email, and every app you use to prove who you are. Not by breaking into your phone, by becoming your phone. This is called SIM swapping. And the scariest part isn't even the attack itself. It's how boring the method is. There's no genius code involved, no dark web mastermind typing furiously in a hoodie. The attacker just picks up a phone and calls your mobile carrier's customer service line, pretending to be you. Let that sink in for a second. The biggest digital security threat hitting bank accounts and crypto wallets in 2026 isn't some advanced piece of malware. It's a phone call. Here's exactly how it works, step by step. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to look at your phone completely differently. It starts with research. Before the attacker ever dials your carrier, they spend time building a profile on you. Where do they get this information? Honestly, almost anywhere. Old data breaches that leaked your email and password years ago, phishing emails you might have ignored but someone else didn't, public records. And the one source almost nobody thinks about, your own social media, your dog's name, your hometown, your birthday wished by friends in the comments, the make of your car, even your mother's maiden name buried in an old tagged photo. Security questions that are supposed to protect you often become the exact ammunition attackers use against you. Once they've gathered enough, they make the call. They contact your mobile carrier and claim they're you. Maybe they say your phone was lost. Maybe they say it was stolen, or that you just upgraded to a new device and need your number moved over. They feed the customer service representative just enough personal detail to sound convincing. Your address, the last 4 digits of something, an old PIN they found in a breach. And here's the part that should genuinely concern you. In study after study, researchers have found that mobile carriers often don't require strong verification before approving these requests. A landmark study out of Princeton tested 5 major prepaid carriers in the United States and found that none of them required in-person verification or strong multi-factor authentication before transferring a number. Researchers successfully completed 39 simulated SIM swap attempts out of 50 tries. That's not a small crack in the system. That's most of the door wide open. The moment that carrier rep hits approve, everything changes. Your actual SIM card, the real one sitting in your real phone, goes dead. No signal, no calls, no texts. Meanwhile, a brand new SIM card, sitting in a phone the attacker controls, lights up with your number. From the second forward, every call meant for you rings on their device. Every text message lands in their hands. And most importantly, every single one of those little 6-digit codes your bank, your email provider, or your crypto exchange sends you to confirm, yes, this is really you. Those go straight to the attacker. This is the part that makes SIM swapping so uniquely dangerous. We've all been told for years that 2-factor authentication is the gold standard of online security. Add a code sent to your phone and suddenly your account is supposedly safe, even if your password leaks. Except that entire system assumes one thing, that the phone receiving that code is actually still yours. SIM swapping breaks that assumption completely. The attacker doesn't need to guess your password. They don't need to crack any encryption. They just go to your email provider, click Forgot Password, and let the system send the recovery code straight to the SIM they now control. Game over, they're in. But it's not just crypto whales and billionaires getting hit. Regular people are losing life savings too. One reported case involved a bank customer who lost $38,000 after a fraudster tricked his mobile provider into transferring his number, then used the hijacked line to intercept authentication codes and drain his account dollar by dollar. Another case saw a major carrier ordered to pay $33 million in arbitration after a single SIM swap led to $43 million in stolen cryptocurrency. These aren't isolated horror stories anymore. They're a pattern. And it doesn't stop at individuals. This exact tactic has even been used against major institutions. In a case that genuinely stunned the cybersecurity world, an attacker convinced a mobile carrier to transfer the phone number tied to a United States federal agency's official social media account. With control of that number, they bypassed the agency's authentication and seized control of the account itself. If a federal agency's verified social media presence can be hijacked this way, what exactly makes you think your personal accounts are safe? Think about that for a moment. This wasn't some random influencer or a small business owner without a security team. This was an agency whose entire job is regulating financial markets and protecting investors. And it still happened. Not because of some impossibly advanced hack, but because one person on the other end of a phone call believed a story they shouldn't have. That's the uncomfortable truth sitting underneath every single one of these cases. The technology isn't the weak point. People are. There's another layer to this most people never even hear about, and it's arguably scarier because it requires you to do absolutely nothing wrong. Back in 2019, researchers uncovered a separate vulnerability that doesn't rely on tricking a carrier at all. It's called SimJacker, and it works in a completely different, far more technical way. Instead of a phone call to customer service, the attacker sends a specially crafted text message straight to your phone. You don't even have to open it. Buried inside that message is a set of commands that talk directly to a piece of software built into many SIM cards, called the SIT browser. This software was originally designed to let your SIM perform simple browser-style tasks. But once an attacker speaks its language, they can use it to silently retrieve your device's location and command the SIM to send information back out, all without you seeing a single notification, click, or warning sign. Security researchers who first uncovered this believe it had been actively exploited for at least 2 years already by a private company that works with governments to conduct surveillance across dozens of countries. Estimates suggest over 1 billion SIM cards worldwide were sitting vulnerable to this exact technique. That's not a hypothetical. That's a real flaw, sitting silently in active use for years before anyone outside that knew it existed. Now, here's where the numbers get genuinely confusing, and you need to hear this part carefully because most videos on this topic get it completely wrong. You'd think, with how dangerous this attack is, reported cases would be exploding every year. In the United States, according to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, reported SIM swap complaints have actually been falling. In 2022, there were just over 2,000 reported cases with losses topping $72 million. By 2023, that dropped to just over 1,000 complaints. And by 2024, it fell again to under 1,000 reported cases, with losses around $26 million. Sounds like good news, right? The threat is shrinking? Not so fast. Security researchers are quick to point out at least 3 reasons this apparent decline is misleading. First, many victims don't report the crime as SIM swap at all. They report the end result instead, like identity theft or an investment scam, which means the original SIM swap that started the whole chain never gets logged under its real name. Second, carriers have genuinely added more security locks and poured out pins over the past couple of years, which has likely blocked some attacks before they could succeed. And third, this is the one that should worry you most. Criminals adapt. When one method gets harder, they simply shift tactics rather than giving up. And outside the United States, the picture looks nothing like a decline. In the United Kingdom, the National Fraud Database recorded almost 3,000 unauthorized SIM swap cases in 2024 alone, a staggering increase of over 1,000% compared to the previous year. In Australia, identity support services reported a 240% surge in people seeking help, specifically for phone porting and SIM swap fraud. And shockingly, 90% of those cases happened without the victim doing anything wrong or careless at all. Meanwhile, in parts of Africa, mobile networks have reported jumps of over 300% in SIM swapping incidents year over year. This isn't a fading threat. It's a threat that's moving, evolving, and hitting different regions at different times. Notice the pattern here. Every single region that's seeing an explosion in cases is somewhere that hasn't yet rolled out the stricter carrier rules the United States has started experimenting with. It's almost like watching water find the cracks in a wall. Block one country's carriers, tighten one region's verification process, and the attackers simply move their attention somewhere the door is still wide open. This is a global cat and mouse game, and right now, in a lot of places, the mouse is winning comfortably. So, what's actually being done about it? In November 2023, US regulators introduced a rule specifically targeting this exact attack. It would have forced every mobile carrier to use stronger authentication before approving any SIM change, things like account-specific PINs, passwords, or genuine multi-factor authentication. It would have banned carriers from accepting easily guessable information like your social security number or birth date as proof of identity, and it would have required immediate text or email notification anytime someone requested a change to your SIM. Sounds like exactly what we need, right? Here's the catch nobody talks about enough. That rule was originally supposed to take full effect in July 2024. Just days before the deadline, regulators granted carriers a waiver delaying enforcement, and as of right now, there has been no confirmed update on when or if that enforcement will actually begin. The protection that was promised to you, the consumer, has effectively been sitting in limbo for over a year and a half. This is why cybersecurity researchers and policy bodies have started recommending something that would have sounded extreme just a few years ago. Stop trusting text messages for security entirely. In a major update to national authentication standards in 2025, federal guidelines officially reclassified SMS and phone call-based one-time passcodes as what's called a restricted authenticator. This is the very first time that classification has existed in the official guidelines. In plain English, the system itself is now telling you that a code sent to your phone number should no longer be treated as a strong, trustworthy form of security. Read that again. The very thing millions of apps still use as your extra layer of protection has officially been downgraded by the people who write the security rulebook. So if codes sent by text message aren't safe enough anymore, what actually is? Authentication apps. These generate your login codes directly on your device using an algorithm, completely independent of your SIM card or phone number. Even if someone successfully swaps your SIM and takes over your number entirely, an authentication app sitting on your physical phone keeps generating codes that have nothing to do with the hijacked number. That single difference can be the line between losing everything and staying completely protected. The agency's authentication and seized control of the account itself. If a federal agency's verified social media presence can be hijacked this way, what exactly makes you think your personal accounts are safe? Think about that for a moment. This wasn't some random influencer or a small business owner without a security team. This was an agency whose entire job is regulating financial markets and protecting investors. And it still happened. Not because of some impossibly advanced hack, but because one person on the other end of a phone call believed a story they shouldn't have. That's the uncomfortable truth sitting underneath every single one of these cases. The technology isn't the weak point. People are. There's also something called an eSIM, a digital SIM built directly into newer phones instead of a removable physical chip. Why does this matter? Because eSIMs typically require additional account verification steps, like logging into an app or scanning a QR code before a number can be transferred. A physical SIM card, on the other hand, can sometimes be pulled directly out of a phone and physically swapped into another device by anyone who manages to get their hands on it, even briefly. The convenience that made physical SIM cards popular for over 2 decades is exactly what makes them more vulnerable today. Now let's talk about the warning signs, because if this ever happens to you, the speed of your reaction determines whether you lose nothing or lose everything. The first sign is sudden, unexplained loss of signal. No calls coming in, no texts. If your phone suddenly goes completely silent with zero explanation, that's not always a network glitch. The second sign is being prompted to restart your phone for no clear reason. This is actually a critical detail almost nobody knows. Experts specifically warn you not to restart your device if you suspect this is happening, because in some cases, the attacker's hijacked SIM only fully activates once your original device goes offline. Restarting your phone might be the exact action that hands them full control. The third warning sign is checking your phone's location services and seeing your device suddenly appear in a completely different city or region than where you actually are. The fourth is the most painful one, getting locked out of your email, your bank app, or your social media one after another in a short window of time. If you notice 2 or more of these signs happening together, the advice from security experts is consistent and urgent. Do not restart your phone. Instead, immediately use a different device, a computer, a friend's phone, anything, and contact your mobile carrier directly to freeze the account and reverse the unauthorized transfer. So, how do you actually protect yourself before any of this happens? Step 1, and this is genuinely the single most effective thing you can do today. Call your mobile carrier and set up a dedicated poured-out PIN or password on your account. This is a unique code that must be provided before anyone, including someone claiming to be you, can transfer or change your SIM. Most carriers offer this for free, and most customers never bother setting it up. Step 2, move away from text message-based two-factor authentication wherever you possibly can. For your email, your banking apps, and especially any cryptocurrency exchange, switch to an authentication app instead. It takes maybe 5 minutes per account to set up, and it completely removes your phone number from the security equation. Step 3, turn on every account change alert your carrier offers. Many providers will text or email you the moment a SIM change is requested on your line before it's finalized. That window, even if it's just a few minutes, can be enough time to call in and stop the transfer before it completes. Step 4, lock down what you share publicly. Birth dates, pet names, your mother's maiden name, your first car, hometown details. These aren't just fun personal facts to share online. They're literally the security questions protecting your most sensitive accounts. And posting them publicly hands attackers a head start they shouldn't have. And step 5, if your phone supports it, seriously consider switching to an eSIM. The added verification layer alone makes the kind of quick, opportunistic attack that targets physical SIM cards significantly harder to pull off. Here's the uncomfortable truth this entire story boils down to. We've spent the last decade being told that adding a phone number to our accounts makes us safer. Two-factor authentication, recovery codes, security text messages, all of it was sold to us as the upgrade that finally protected us properly. But the very foundation of that system, your phone number, was never actually as secure as we assumed. It was always just one convincing phone call away from being handed to a complete stranger. This isn't fear-mongering for clicks. This is happening right now in real time, to real people, in growing numbers across multiple countries, even while official reported statistics in some regions appear to be quietly going down. The attackers haven't slowed down. They've simply gotten better at staying under the radar, shifting their methods the moment one door starts to close. So before you close this video, do one thing. Just one. Open your phone right now, search for your carrier's account security settings, and set up that port out pin. It takes less time than this video did to watch, and it might be the single decision that keeps your entire digital life from ending up in the hands of a stranger who knows nothing about you except your name, your birthday, and your phone number, because that's all it takes, and now you know exactly how.